September 2019. Lake Fork, Texas. One of the most competitive bass fishing tournaments in the state. 120 boats on the water. State-of-the-art sonar. Lures costing $40, $60 each. On one of the boats, none of that. An old rod, ordinary line, and a strange habit before each cast. The guy would put something in his mouth, chew for about 20 seconds, and then rub it on the lure with his fingers. In 4 hours, more largemouth bass were caught live than any other boat on the water. If you want to fish like this, sign up here. The referee walked by, looked, smelled. He called the organizers. The discussion lasted 40 minutes, and the rule was written on the spot, on the back of a notebook. The use of any chewed or orally processed organic compound as a bait additive is prohibited during the competition. Disqualified. No appeal. The rule created on the spot proves it worked. But before I show you what it is, I need to show you what happens when it gets in the water. If this is your first time here, subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any secrets the industry tries to hide. Lake Fork is known as the lake that produces more trophy bass per square meter than any other body of water in Texas. Anglers fly in from other states to try and catch a specimen weighing over 10 pounds. It's the kind of place where those who don't know what they're doing just stare blankly at the sonar. This fisherman arrived without sonar, without GPS, with an old cooler and a fishing rod that must have been about 12 years old. Saturday morning was cool, around 62 degrees. The water slightly murky after rain 2 days earlier, conditions that usually make visual bass hunting difficult. Everyone went to the submerged vegetation, casting crankbaits and jigs non-stop. He went to an open cove. It seemed crazy. At 7:15 a.m., first fish. At 8:00 a.m., fifth fish. At 10:30 a.m., when most people were changing spots for the third time, he already had a full bucket. The detail? Before each cast, he would take a piece of sugar-free chewing gum, the white, neutral kind, chew it for about 20 seconds, and rub it on the back of the lure, very close to the hook. No ceremony whatsoever. Quick, as if it were nothing. It was no coincidence, and this method didn't originate in Texas. Fishermen in riverside communities of the Deep South, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, have used variations of this for generations. On the bayou's edge, old catfish fishermen would chew pieces of dried corn or bits of stale bread and apply them to their lines before casting. In Florida, inland artisanal fishing communities developed the same practice with different materials. And in indigenous territories of the Pacific Northwest, historical records document the use of chewed substrates of specific herbs and roots on handcrafted hooks before any store-bought products existed. 3 regions, completely distinct cultures. No communication between them. The same conclusion. This is no coincidence. It's biology. But there's one detail that separates those who do it right from those who do it and see no results. And it's exactly that detail that I'm going to show you now. But first, a quick thing. Most fishermen spend years buying synthetic attractants for $50, $80 a bottle, unaware that the saliva activated during chewing contains an enzymatic combination that fish can detect from meters away. The link below has a complete guide to help you stop spending money on expensive products and start using what you already have in your pocket. Just download it. The ingredient is chewing gum, sugar-free. The flavor doesn't matter much. What matters is the chewing process, which activates salivary enzymes and creates an organic compound that fish detect through their chemosensory system. It seems too simple to work. But it's precisely this simplicity that the industry doesn't want you to discover. Similar records appear among fishermen in the Midwest, in the Great Lakes region, and in artisanal communities on the East Coast. Always the same principle. But the step-by-step process has details that change everything. I'm going to show you those details now. What you need: 1 sugar-free gum, any neutral flavor, mint works well. 1 teaspoon of fine cornmeal, less than $1 at the market. 3 drops of regular olive oil and a clean cloth or paper towel. Total cost, less than $2, enough material for months. Step 1. Chew the gum for at least 25 seconds. No less. It is during this time that salivary amylase breaks down the gum's polysaccharides and releases the active compounds. Less than 25 seconds, and the concentration is too low to be detected from a distance. Step 2. Mix the chewed gum with the teaspoon of fine cornmeal. The flour acts as a vehicle. It absorbs the enzymatic compound and releases it slowly into the water, creating a scent trail that lasts longer than a direct application. Step 3. Add the 3 drops of olive oil. This is the secret within the secret. The olive oil acts as a lipid dispersant, breaking the compound into smaller particles that spread throughout the water column instead of sinking completely. I tested both versions side by side. Without olive oil, the result was good. With olive oil, it was considerably different. This ratio here is one of those in the complete guide, along with other combinations for different species and specific water conditions. Step 4. Form a small ball with the mixture, about the size of a pea. Apply it to the back of the bait or directly to the hook, very close to the point. Step 5. Cast and wait. Don't retrieve immediately. Give it at least 40 seconds before the first movement of the lure. Step 6. Reapply every 15 to 20 minutes, or whenever the bait remains in the water for too long. Effectiveness decreases after 20 minutes in running water and 30 minutes in still water. Storage. The dry mix will last up to 1 week in a sealed container outside the refrigerator. Do not freeze. Cold temperatures deactivate the enzymes. A sign that it's working. In the first 2 or 3 minutes after casting, you'll notice small disturbances on the surface near the lure. These are smaller fish investigating the compound. Larger fish arrive soon after, following the chemical trail. Now, before you go out on the water thinking it's just magic, you need to understand what happens underwater when the fish sense this. Because when you understand the mechanism, you'll never fish the same way again. Largemouth bass don't see well in murky water, but they have a sense of smell that most people can't imagine. A largemouth bass's olfactory system has up to 10 times more chemosensory receptors than a trained dog. They detect free amino acids, like leucine and glycine, present in high concentrations in enzymatically activated saliva, at concentrations of parts per billion. It's like smelling a slice of pizza inside a packed stadium. Salivary amylase breaks down polysaccharides into simple sugars and releases these amino acids. Olive oil creates a microemulsion that floats in the water column. The fish follows this trail as if it were a map. A University of Wisconsin-Madison study on olfactory behavior in bass documented that organic compounds of biological origin activate an approach response up to 3 times faster than synthetic attractants with equivalent amino acid concentrations. The reason? Natural compounds have a more complex molecular signature, which the fish recognizes as real food. Pure biology, no mystery. Now you understand why the store won't tell you this. A sugar-free piece of gum costs $0 while it's $10. A bottle of synthetic amino acid attractant in stores costs $45 to $80. The bait and attractant market in the U.S. moves more than $1.5 billion a year. It doesn't have to be a conspiracy. Nobody is going to market something that makes you stop buying. It's that straightforward. If you want to boost it even more, add half a teaspoon of garlic powder to the mixture. It enhances the response in catfish and carp, especially in still or slow-moving water. Or replace the olive oil with 2 drops of sardine oil. It increases the persistence of the attractant in flowing water. Ideal for bass in rivers and streams. Regarding timing, prepare the mixture at home before leaving. Best windows: early morning between 6 a.m. and 9 a.m., and late afternoon between 5 p.m. and 7 p.m., when the bass is actively feeding. Largemouth and smallmouth bass respond very well. Catfish respond at any time, especially at night. Most common mistake: touching the bait with hands that have been in contact with sunscreen, insect repellent, or gasoline. These compounds completely mask the attractant and can scare the fish away. Wash your hands thoroughly with water, without soap, before preparing the bait. And yes, if you fish in private reservoirs or participate in organized tournaments, check the local regulations beforehand. Some have already updated their rules precisely because of cases like that of Lake Fork. That alone says it all. Click now. Secure your access to high-level fishing, and let these strategies start transforming your next fishing trips. The link is in the first pinned comment. When you return from the water applying what you've learned, come back here and comment, "I caught more." That will be your commitment to your evolution in fishing. And perhaps it's exactly the step that separates the stories you hear from the stories you'll start telling. Imagine your next fishing trip. While others spend $60 on off-the-shelf synthetic bait, you use a mix that costs less than $2. In 40 minutes, you'll catch live bass. Your friends will ask for your secret. You decide whether to tell them. If this opened your mind to something, hit the like button. It's not for me. It's for this knowledge to reach those who are still spending $50 on expensive little bottles unnecessarily. If you're not subscribed, click and activate the bell now. The next video will show another method that fishing stores hope you never learn. Comment below which fish you find most difficult to catch. Your answers will determine the next video, and your problem could become the next episode. Send this video to your friend who always invites you fishing, but never catches anything. He'll thank you, or he'll get mad that you kept it for so long. The knowledge that the industry spent decades trying to bury fits into a tiny ball the size of a pea. And now it's in your hands.